There you go. Good girl. By request and no experience necessary. We're going to be doing some wall-assisted stretches for the shoulder and the kinetic chain from the hand all the way up and into the neck. So I want you to find a little place to work, and I hope you enjoy. Let's begin by setting up an arm's length away from the wall. I want to make sure that there's no bending in the crease of the elbow. We're about shoulder height with the hand. I want you to actively push into the wall with your hand and imagine pulling your body away from the wall. So we're actually working from two different directions. There's a push with the hand and there's a pull. So if you wanted to take this a little deeper, I'm gonna cup either the side body or underneath my arm and gently pull my body away as I press my hand in. My goal is for you to feel a deep stretch through the forearm and into the fingers. And if this is tolerable, let your head tilt away from the wall. As you breathe, try to exhale and feel that inside shoulder sliding down your back. Inhale, lift the chest, the sternum, and the pectorals towards the ceiling. Active press. And then press into the wall. Pull yourself away. I do have a little bit of tingling or burning going on. Head can come up. Just take a moment to shake that arm out. Some of the stuff will be pretty intense, even though it doesn't look like we're doing much. So just make sure you enter nice and slow. Hand is going to come up shoulder height again, and try to do a little bit of a internal and an external rotation. So I'm going to plant the hand to the wall. Try to point the crease of your armpit towards the ceiling, and then roll the shoulder forward, pointing it to the ground. So you'll go open and close. You might hear some popping or cracking in there. The last time. All right, and you can keep the hand there. Come in just a couple inches. This time I want to have the elbow bent. Hand is going to stay right where it is. Rotate away from the wall. Really feel this shoulder opening up towards the ceiling. So I'm going to really roll that shoulder head back. Once you're here, press into the wall and maybe look away and breathe. Using this if you sit at a desk, right? Or you do a lot of time driving or at a computer. Also, if you want to create a better back bend, right? We need to open up the chest and the pectorals to do so. One more breath. And swivel those feet back. I like to give that arm a little break, so just give it a little action side to side. Walk your fingers up the wall to a position that works good for you. So no pinching in the shoulder here. And then I want you to bend the elbow and let your body weight sink. So if you feel like you can go a little bit deeper, hands slide up and sink in, right? So I'm really gonna let my body weight sink here. Once you settle in, again, playing with the gaze, you might wanna look away from the wall, chin tucks in, or ear to shoulder, leaning away from the wall. Up and releasing that arm. Go ahead and give it just a little roll or a shake. And I want you to take a staggered stance. So outside leg comes in front, and inside arm is going to reach back about the height of your shoulder. Actively push into the wall with your hand, and I want you to look away from the wall. Feel that inside scapula sliding down your back, right? Chest is open. Press into the wall. And then try also tilting your head away. Keep that gentle pressure, hand is pushing. Lifting the head. And give me a little spider walk. Come up the wall, maybe 2 or 3 inches. Active press. Look away first. And then try tilting the head. Head can come up. And then one more time, right? Palm presses. Look away. Or tilt the head. So getting into the pectorals here, we have kind of a fan muscle across the front of the chest, which is why we're trying to get all these different angles. One more breath. Gentle on the release. All right, let's take a counter stretch. Working arm comes across the body, give it a nice hug and active shrug down. Right, so my shoulder's pushing to the floor and I'm actively pushing this arm into that hand that's cradling. Release and palm faces the ceiling, come back in. And one more for this side. So whatever arm you were working with, we're gonna stay on that side, but I want you this time to face the wall. Come close. I'm gonna have the elbow touching the wall. Hand is gonna do a little pat on the back here. And allow your body weight to sink into the wall. Once you get into this stretch, you'll wanna look away from our working side into a downward diagonal. So we're trying to get into the tricep, but also you're gonna feel this in the neck around the region of your traps, right where the neck and the shoulder meet. Shifting your gaze a bit or letting your body rotate very slowly, just finding some different areas that you might need to focus on. Make sure you're breathing. Use the exhale to sink your body weight into the wall. And come out of this one really slowly. I feel like I could be there all day. And just for fun, I want you to inhale your arms overhead. Notice if maybe one arm is longer than the other. Feels like mine definitely is. And let's even out, moving to the other side. Remember, we're starting out an arm's length away, so I don't want any bending of the elbow. It's important that we keep that fascial line open. Hand is spread nice and wide, shoulder height. Push into the wall first, and then pull your body away. So I want you to feel both actions, pushing and pulling. Try to slide that shoulder down your back and then look away. Already feeling this. That might be deep enough. If you can tolerate it, try tilting your head away from the wall. Keep the push of the palm, right? I'm feeling this right in the fingers and into the belly of the forearm here. So we're getting into some of the fascia and the tendons that probably so desperately need to be stretched. Bring the head up first. Just give the arm a quick little breather. Same position, you want to keep nice and straight through the elbow. Roll the shoulder head in and then back. So elbow crease to the floor and then to the ceiling. You will hear some popping and cracking here. I might have to edit mine out if they're too loud. Forward and back. For 3, 2, last one. All right, and releasing the arm. Small step in, maybe just a couple inches. This time we'll want to keep the elbow bent, pointing towards the floor, hand as high as the shoulder. Pivot away from the wall. Feel that scapula sliding down your back, right? So it kind of slides and plugs in. Roll the shoulder head open, maybe use your hand to help. Press into the wall, look away from the wall. Breathe into the chest. Try tilting your head away from the wall. All right, head comes up first. Relax that arm. Give a little wiggle of those fingers. We're gonna come just a couple inches away, walk your hand up, so I don't want any pinching in the shoulder. So come up to a height that you think may be good for you, and just try to sink the elbow in. So I'm really just trying to lengthen my side body here. If you feel like you can go deeper without any pain, go up a little higher. Let your body weight sink into the wall. And then this is really up to you. You can try shifting your gaze, maybe tilting the head again. Gently push your hand into the wall. Head comes up first. Whew. Get that blood flow back into the fingers. I get a little bit of tingling here, but it shouldn't be pain. I think my arm tingles because it's way up there for a little while. I have low blood pressure. Staggered stance. I want that outside leg in front. Inside arm behind you. Start at about the height of the shoulder. So I'm going to actively press into the wall. Slide that scapula down the back. Open the chest. Look away. Try tilting the ear away. Head comes up and give me that little walk. I'm gonna come just a couple inches, maybe 2 or 3. Look away. Then tilt. One more spot. Coming up. Active press. Right, opening the chest, look away, and tilt. All right, nice and slow, head comes up, step those feet together, counter stretch, bring it across your body, give it a nice hug. So I'm actually pushing the shoulder down as I drag across, right? So I'm kind of dragging this arm. The elbows pushing. Release and switch. So palm faces the ceiling. Come back in. Actively shrug that shoulder down. All right, and last but definitely not least, actually my favorite. So face the wall. This can help brace and support you. We're gonna come up with that elbow. So I want the body weight to sink in. Once you get into position, you're feeling that nice stretch in the trap. Look to a downward diagonal. See how that feels in your trap. And play and shift the gaze. Find a spot that works for you. Slow on the release. All right. And let's just see if we feel a little more even. So arms overhead, right? Reach those fingers high, see if they can touch, right? Hopefully they're even. And then to finish our practice, I want you to take a seat against the wall. All right, welcome to the floor. This is really important. If you do not feel comfortable sitting cross-legged, I want you to extend your legs long. I want you to create a long spine, and we're using the wall to help us reference what that feels like. So the low back is against the wall. We want to push the ribs towards the wall, and if it touches, that's if it touches, the back of the head. Now sometimes there's some swelling that goes on in the upper portion of the neck here, I should say the lower portion of the neck, and the head kind of falls forward. So for us to get the chin to the wall, there's a lifting. I do not want you to lift your chin. If you can't touch the wall with your chin parallel to the floor, imagine looking for the wall. The ultimate goal is to get our ears, our shoulders, and our hips in one line. So make sure that as we come into this exercise, you don't pop your ribs, right? So ribs are pulling back. Arms are gonna come up to a cactus-like position. Now, as you try to push your elbows towards the wall, make sure you're also pushing your ribs towards the wall, right? And no funky movements in the head either. So I just want you to try to hold this. There is a tendency to kind of cheat the arms down here. See if you can get them as high as the shoulders. Try to actively pull the shoulders down your back, a nice open chest. This will get easier with practice. If you do this sequence a couple times a week, maybe once or twice would be nice. Especially if this is a challenge for you. Give me one more breath. Good, and just relax your arms. Release the shoulders. I want you to think of sitting nice and tall again. From here, I want you to look to one side. Now, as I look to the side, this is really gentle, don't go crazy. Now, as I look to the side, I'm gonna press my head into the wall, and I'm gonna actively reach my opposite fingers away. So I want you to reach the fingers towards the floor, head pushes into the wall, fingers push into the floor. And so feeling this very deeply into the side of my neck and all the way to the fingers. And then release. We're gonna roll to the other side, right? So actively press into the wall with your head. And then fingers are gonna come out to the diagonal, press into the floor. Come back to center, and arms come up. One more time, let's do a cactus. Ribs to the wall, sacrum to the wall, head if it touches, chin parallel to the floor. Hold and breathe. I think about trying to slide my scapulas kind of down my back and pinching them. Right, so I'm trying to kind of pinch them into my back to really open the chest. All right, and release. If you could just sit for a moment, let your palms face the ceiling. You can relax your shoulders a bit, close your eyes. Acknowledge any changes or shifts, especially in the upper body where we were working today. Hands will come to heart center, humble bow forward. Acknowledge you took the time and the effort to be here with me today. I'm hoping you felt our practice and that I will get to work with you again sometime soon. Namaste.